Okay, welcome to a new playthrough we are doing. Today we are starting Lorerim, which is a Skyrim mod pack. It is a complete revamp from the standard Skyrim that we've all known to play and love. It it's a full overhaul. Like I think over 3,000 mods and everything like that. It changes the difficulty, combat systems, all of it. So I do highly suggest you try it. If you haven't, if you have played it, you know how great it is. If you haven't, be ready for a challenge. It You may not be able to fight a bandit day one, like that level of difficulty. Now, I've already made, and it does come with tons of pre-skins. Let's see, what are we going as? A Breton. So, like, we got pre-made Bretons in here. But, I already have mine made. We're playing as Lord Farquaad. Now, I will say, if you make a character's creation and all that stuff, do the whole shebang, be very careful about upgrading the mod pack or anything like that, because it could override your skins that you've created. Happened to Lord Farquaad. I had a more accurate look for him, but we're going to settle for, second best. It's all good though. I'm still excited to play. Let's get our Lord Farquaad created. So, if you've never played these games before, it has pretty much an alternative start. So let's take a look. So welcome to Lorerim. The installation process will begin now. Make your choices to shape your character and start your destiny. We'll give it a minute. We'll look around the room. Probably get a pop-up. But yes, so everything has been modded. There's nothing that's going to be vanilla looking. Let's put it that way. So the first thing we pick is our sign, our birth sign that we're born under. And these are all the mods it's updating and all that stuff. So you can watch that if you want. Now, different between regular Skyrim, this is more similar to Oblivion, where your birth sign is permanent. You can't go off and find a new standing stone and switch it off as you go. And even the standing stones themselves have been changed. So we're going to go through these. This is going to be all character creation. And then this is basically episode 0, we'll call it. This will all be character creation, going through all the lines. I'll be reading all of them. I did not go over it before, but even the races have been adjusted. So there is even a race adjustments on there. So definitely worth looking into that. It's all on the Lorerim website. As you're downloading it, you can read it as well. But let's start with the warrior. Sign of the warrior. Those under the sign of the warrior have increased strength and endurance. Health increases by 50. All weapons deal 10% more damage. Armor penetration in all weapons is increased by 5, doubling when the corresponding weapon skill is mastered. Unarmed strikes do 10 additional damage. Thief. Those under the sign of the thief have increased dexterity. Lockpicks are 30% more durable. Lockpicking expertise is increased by 2. Pickpocketing is 30% more likely to succeed. You are 30% harder to detect. You can sneak without proficiency. Gain 10% chance to avoid physical damage. After mastering alchemy, able to apply 1 extra poison dose. Mage. Those under the sign of the Mage have increased magicka reserves, and cast more potent spells. Magicka increases by 150, spells are 10% stronger, doubling up to 20% when you master the relevant magic skill. So, on both Mage and Warrior, it mentioned doubling when you master a skill. I believe that's going to be when you pretty much 100% one-handed weapons, or destruction, illusion, conjuration. Believe those are going to be how that doubles. Apprentice. Those under the sign of the Apprentice have increased magicka and faster regeneration, but also have a weakness to magic. Magicka increases by 100. Magicka regenerates an extra 5 per second. Magic deals 25% more damage to you if you have not mastered any magical skills. That sounds like once you master destruction, that goes away. Those born under the sign of the Atronach, sure. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that word. Atronach, I've heard it multiple ways. Of the Atronach, have deep reserves of magicka and can absorb harmful magic, but cannot generate magicka on their own. Magicka increases by 200, increasing up to 300 when you master a magic skill. You do not lose magicka when hit. Increases chance to absorb the magicka from hostile spells by 30%. You cannot regenerate magicka by yourself or non-magical sources. So it looks like there's no regeneration, but you can take potions, possibly. And you can't lose magic by spells. That's nice. Under the sign of the Lady. Those under the sign of the Lady have increased vitality. Health and stamina increases by 25. Health and stamina regenerate 40% faster, doubling when a warrior skill is mastered. You can run or swim without exertion. So that the reason regeneration is such a big thing is I do not believe you have any regeneration default. Now, there may be some, and it's very, 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 very slow, but you don't start off with very much, if any. Sign of the Lord. The stone of the Lord grants natural regeneration and weakened hostile spells, but also afflicts them with the Trollkin curse. Not familiar with that. 10% magic resist, 150 armor reading, 25% weakness to fire if you have not mastered a warrior skill. Sign of the Lover. Those under the sign of the Lover have increased agility and natural charm. Stamina regeneration increases by 40%. Increases chance to avoid physical damage by 25%. Speech skill is 25 higher. Shout cooldown reduced by 5%, and an additional 5% after mastering speechcraft. Ritual. Those under the sign of the Ritual have various abilities depending on the aspects of the moons and the divines. You receive Blessed Fire, Dead Horde, and Salvation powers. Enchanting is 10% stronger when you master enchanting. Shadow. Those under the sign of the Shadow are naturally skilled at stealth and can hide in the shadows once a day. You are 50% harder to detect. You can sneak without proficiency. Movement noise is 30% quieter. You receive Moon Shadow power. Gain 5% armor penetration upon mastering Sneak, Wayfarer, or Finesse. Wayfarer is lock picking and Finesse is pickpocketing. They have changed the names of those. They've also changed the names on a few others. Steed. Those under the sign of the Steed have increased speed. Movement is 10% faster. Sprinting is 10% faster. Carrying capacity increases by 25. Stamina increases by 50. Most slow effects don't affect you. Restore 1 stamina per second if you have mastered a warrior skill. Tower. Those under the sign of the tower have nimble hands and a knack for finding fortune. Prices are 25% favorable, 50 more carry weight. Lockpicks are 40% more durable. Lockpicking expertise is increased by 4. You can pick effortless locks in plain sight without being noticed. Reflect 10% damage when you've mastered a defensive skill. Serpent. Those under the sign of the serpent have improved precision, resistance to poison and paralysis, and can cast Serpent's Curse once a day. Armor penetration with all weapons is increased by 15. Poison deals 50% less damage to you, doubling at 40% at level 40. So will that be 100%? Most paralysis effects don't adversely affect you. You receive Serpent's Curse power. Interesting. Well, for Lord Farquaad, I haven't 100% figured out how I want to play him just yet, but I'm thinking probably safe to go warrior route, just because I probably won't. I've never played a thief, but Lord Farquaad is not a thief. He's also not a mage. So I think warrior is going to be our best bet. We could random it. Maybe eventually we'll do a random playthrough, and that's how we determine who we're playing as. Like, what does he do? What do we know about this person? That could be a fun one. But we're going to go ahead and do warrior, I think. I do like the health increase. I do like the fact that there's more damage. And there's more penetration with all weapons, and it does double, which, again, I will be doing a lot of one-handed and warrior skills, so probably be good. Probably won't do too much magic, if I'm honest. So we go with warrior. Confirm. Okay. Next, we select our skills. Again, just like in Oblivion, you're going to have 3 major skills and 6 minor skills. The 3 major are going to increase those by 10, and the 6 minor are going to increase those by 5. A very, 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 very interesting thing, which I love about Lorerim, is that if you have 0 in anything, we'll use sneak as an example. We use sneak as an example or wayfarer. If you have 0 in these, you cannot do it. I believe you have to have a perk in there in order to achieve anything. So, for example, if you don't put a perk ever in sneak, you can sneak, but it's not doing much. If you don't put one in Wayfarer, you're not going to be picking locks. Period. That being said, we need to pick our things carefully so we are making sure we are doing well. So we're going to do evasion for a major. Evasion is light armor. We're going to do one-handed because I do plan to have a shield. I don't know if I want my third one to be blocked, though. I don't plan to put too much into that. I do want to smith a lot, so maybe smithing. I also plan to do alchemy. Well, you know what? On a normal playthrough, I do focus on those 2 things. I don't know if I will as much on this one. Maybe we'll just, what we get off of bandits and we find what we use. But I will need to be able to improve them. So smithing may be important. Let's see. Alteration, probably not. Conjuration, no. Destruction, while I love it, I don't think Lord Farquaad's going to be doing destruction magic. Enchanting, illusion, restoration. We might use healing magic. It's not a bad one. Archery, block, heavy armor. Archery could be very good. We're not going to do heavy armor. We're doing light armor. Smithing, 2-handed. We're doing 1-handed. Maybe I should. Oh, no, I think block will be a minor skill. I think minor skill. Lock picking, finesse, sneak, and speech. I feel like we should pick one from this row, just because we have one from each row. Just be fun. I'm going to do restoration, just so I can get a little bit more healing magic in there. Or should I do something different since I don't have anything in destruction? I don't think I'll do destruction magic. We're going to do restoration, but it already has 10. Should I put one that has nothing in it? Because unfortunately, these both had 0. I picked the wrong race. But that's okay. Makes it more fun. So, boop. Okay, let's just put it in restoration now, and we'll come back to it. I do want block, archery, wayfare, smithing. This is actually making it a lot easier because I'm getting so many out of the way that I can figure out what restoration will be next. I might upgrade one of these. I guess we could put something in destruction just to have it as a possibility. Or should I go alchemy or enchanting? Alchemy already has 10. Okay, let's see. Sneak. Let's put in sneak. We definitely need sneak because we have 0 in there. And this is what's basically giving you what level it's going to start at. So restoration is going to start at 20, at 10, at 10, at 5, 5, 5, 5. I need one of each because technically you don't. You know what? I think I'll leave it at restoration. Whatever. Don't care. Maybe I'll put it here instead, and then put 5 in restoration. That way I get more into this one. Oh, it's everything. Oh, we're done. Oh, dang, that worked out. Well, let's just make sure. Alteration. Can't even think of a spell. Conjuration. I do love conjuration, but we're already at 15. Destruction. You never know. I might need to cast Fireball ever occasionally. Enchanting, an illusion, restoration, archery, block. Those 2 are good. Now, this is just giving me levels. This is not... I don't have anything in sneak or wayfare, so I still need to put points in those. I almost feel like I should have put something in alchemy or enchanting, but again, I know there are points in those. Basically, what has 0 that we're not going to be using? How about that? Two-handed, finesse, heavy armor, alteration. That's fair. I definitely won't be using heavy armor or two-handed. I don't ever pickpocket. It's not one of my skills I like to use. But if I do a thief build, maybe, why not? Speech, meh. I don't know. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Like, cool with who's getting what, though. Definitely think these definitely need to be the highest one, since I'll be using those the most. Start those off at a higher level quicker. I think these are fine. The only thing I might do different, no, because these are all 10, so those are giving the most benefit I could possibly get. So I think that's fair. This is the only one, I guess, technically I'm unsure about, because it's, let's see. But again, I won't put it on alteration, not heavy armor, not two-handed, and I don't pickpocket. So somebody's going to be at 15. So that works out. We'll do it to restoration. That's fine. Oh, and it gave me so many items just then. I saw something pop into my inventory. Religion. Most denizens of Tamriel are religious. You may choose to follow a deity, receiving a minor blessing and learning about their sacred tenets. If you wish to follow a different deity later, find and activate their shrine in the world. So are these... Okay, let's start from the top. Aktosh. Aktosh is the dragon god of time. As father of dragons, he represents beginning and end. Follower. Improved attacks and spells against dragons. Tenants. Fulfill your destiny by saving Tamriel. Raise your character's level. Absorb dragon souls. Never openly break the laws of Skyrim. So one thing I'm looking at when I am picking a deity is what do I get from them as a follower? What benefits do I get? And also, what do I need to follow? Because I believe this also gives us more experience. Oh wait, maybe not experience. Maybe this helps our bond with them. Because I'm sure we won't lose experience for breaking the law, but we could lose our being a follower. We could be kicked out. Well, this is pretty much what we're about to be doing. I don't know if I want just improved attacks against spells against dragons. RK. Once a mortal shopkeeper, the Lord of Life and God of Funerals was granted divinity by Mara. Follower. Regenerate health when weakened. Can perform arcane rites on the dead. Okay, regenerating health, already huge benefit. Tenants. Slay the undead and their summoners. Okay, easy. Perform arcane rites. Okay, never openly break the laws of Skyrim. Never summon the undead or become one of them. Eek. I do. So in this one, I know in chapter 3, so this is the final chapter. So this is 4.0 point something. In 3.0, you could become a lich. And I kind of want to go that route if we are able to discover how to do that. That would be fun. Or even like a vampire. So this one I don't think is a good one for us. Now, we're not doing it anytime soon, so we could always do this one and then change later. If we find someone we like more. Debella. Goddess of beauty and love, she inspires mortals to create art and engage in passionate love. Improve skills while affected by lover's comfort. Persuade others, receive their blessings of lover's comfort. Find a new Sybil for my temple. Pray only in the nude. Never openly break the laws of Skyrim. Nope. I don't want to do nudity ones because I'm not sure how quickly that's going to be flagged. So automatically no for me. Magnus. The architect of creation, Magnus, left the sun in his wake, through which magic enters the world. This is all magic. We can't use this one. Spells cost less magic, but magic only regenerates while praying. Oh. Tenants. Practice magic successfully while praying. Safeguard the eye of Magnus. Create enchanted items. This would be great for a mage playthrough. Mara. This is who I'm interested in since she gave RK power. Mara is the divine mother of agriculture, fertility, and compassion. And mother cat to the Khajiit. Oh. Follower. Health regeneration. Love it. Out of combat and pray to remove diseases and poisons. Love that. Be married. Own one or more houses. Be generous to beggars and children. Receive the blessing of lover's comfort. Never openly break laws of Skyrim. Not part of something I'm looking to do. Married, but houses, I do tend to give money to the beggars and to children. Receive blessings of lover's comfort. Not sure what that does, but I can skip that. This sounds great, though. I don't know who this is. Ancestor god of Somerset. Fanaster taught his people to live longer by using a shorter stride. Faster regeneration when standing still. Slower when moving. So that's across the board. Tenants. Explore new locations. Find the standing stones of Skyrim. Harvest the fruits of nature. Bretons are more deserving of my favor. Ooh, we are a Breton. Okay, so let's reread this. Faster when standing still. Slower when moving. I don't know how much slower. Makes me a little bit nervous. Explore new locations. We're already going to be doing that. Just playing the game. Finding the standing stones of Skyrim. We'll probably do that anyway. Harvest the fruits of nature. That makes me think that we need to be doing alchemy. Bretons are more deserving of our favor, and we are Breton. So the shout out makes me want to go this way almost. Stendar is the god of mercy and justice, and patron of holy knights and the Imperial Legion. Reduce damage from Daedra and undead. That's nice. Less damage would be amazing. Clear dungeons of evil. Slay Daedra and the undead. Complete side quests. Never openly break the laws of Skyrim. Never practice the foul summoning arts. I'm not planning to go conjuration. So that's not the worst. But I don't plan to be fighting a lot of Daedra and undead. So, Zarz's. Once a mortal scribe to Orol, the historian god keeps track of all elven accomplishments. Follower, receive an additional skill point from reading a skill book. Ooh. Tenants, explore new locations, read the stories of others, study a wide variety of spells. Bretons are most deserving of my favor. The skill point really gets me there because we can start putting more points in things. Now, what I don't understand is skill point perks or skill point levels. I just thought about that. Because I doubt reading a skill book is going to give us a perk. It's going to level up that thing, and we're going to get additional ones. So skill books give us 2 levels. Not the worst, though. Xanathar. Well, that's a big one. Follow the divine Xanathar. Xanathar is the god of work and commerce, worshipped by traders, nobility, and craftsmen. Follower. Improved crafting skills in alchemy, enchanting, and smithing. Well, we're not focusing on those, so it's already a no. Tenants. Invest in stores and merchants. Seek out skill training. Make weapons and armor. Never openly break the laws of Skyrim. So that's a no for me. Okay, so the ones that are standing out to me, obviously Xarces and Finanster, because they're both Breton people. Mara and RK. Okay, let's go back through. Let's start eliminating. I think I'm going to say no to this one just because we're only getting a skill book increase versus I know other people give us regeneration. I'd rather get regeneration than those. Faster regeneration when standing still, slower when moving. That's fine. I just wish I knew how slower. Like, am I talking like if I'm walking, it's 1% because I don't plan to stand still while playing this game too often. Let me look this up real quick. Lorerim. What's his name? Phynaster. Okay, let's see if it gives us a little bit more details. Okay. It's not giving me a lot. Okay, we're in Lorerim website. Let's go to support. No, guides. Character. This could be blessings. Yes. There is more deep. There's more words to this. Let's see what it says. It's not in alphabetical order though. Did I scroll past it by accident? There's a lot of people in this, actually. Oh, is it a Daedric Prince? Okay, let's see. Search. Okay. PHY. There it is. Okay. Finaster. Who can follow Finaster? Bretons, Altmer, and Bosmer. Racial starting deity for Breton, Altmer, and Bosmer. Tenants. Here you go. Per standing stone discovered, 3% increase. Discover a new map location, a 0.75%. Harvest an alchemical ingredient, 0.15. All favor gains multiplied by 1.25 if you're a Breton. So those are all more. So yes, we were correct about harvesting, discovering locations, and the standing stones. The Shine Blessing, potions and poisons you mix are 10% stronger. Follower, health, magic, and stamina regenerate 100% faster when standing, but 50% slower when moving. Oh, that's actually really good. Devotee, when meditating, you may choose to teleport back to the last location where you meditated. Cost 2% of favor. Shrine locations, Temple of the Ancestors, south of so-and-so and so-and-so. Okay. Well, that could be great. Okay, Mara. I won't lie. Well, you know what? Let's read about each one of these real quick. Let's give everybody the same thoughts, except for whatever the last person was. RK. Okay, hold on. Let's pull up RK and we'll read it. So RK. Anyone can follow RK. Racial standing deity for Breton, Imperial, Nord, and Bosmer. Tenants, kill the undead, plus 0.5%. Kill anyone with a summon undead minion, plus 1.5%. Perform RK's rites on a marked corpse, plus 2.5%. Receive a bounty, minus 1%, minus 0.1%. Per bounty gold. Dang. Summon an undead minion, minus 40%. Okay, so no undead. Become a vampire or other undead, abandoned. Dang. Okay, Shine Blessing is we're going to gain 40 fortified health. Follower regenerates 1 to 5% of max health per second based on missing health. Can perform RK's rites. Devotee revive with full health upon taking fatal damage. Cost 15%. Shrine locations, yada, yada, yada. 1 to 5% of max health. I think that's a lot. I think it depends on what you got. Okay, and last but not least, let's look at Mara. So far, I really do like RK, honestly. We didn't take any conjuration, so it's fine. Anyone can follow her. Bretons, Imperials, and Nords and Bosmer are starting racial deities. Tenants. If married, 25%. If owning at least one house, 25%. Donate to a beggar child up to 2.5%. Favor decreases half as fast while under the effects of lover's comfort. Receive a bounty, minus 0.1% per bounty gold. Shrine Blessings restoration spells cost 10% less to cast. Followers regenerate 1 HP per second at all times. Devotee living allies within 40 feet won't flee and are healed 10 to 20 health per second. Okay. I'm going to have to say no to Mara. So really, it's between RK, who's going to give us 1 to 5% healing just anytime, but we can never summon something that's dead. That's fine. Or Fastener, which if we're standing still, it's 100% regeneration. So like maybe we had to stand still for like 2 seconds. But honestly, I kind of want to do Fanaster because one, he is a Breton person, so that kind of like makes it fun to do. And second, I don't know this person, so he's not well known everywhere. So it could be funny, like to see how people like react to us. Also, I definitely, since there's these new deities, I'm wondering if that means they're located like in the game places, like if they've made shrines and like other things for people out there. I want to see what he is. Oh, he's from Somerset. That's right. But what is he? Is he like Daedra? Whatever. Okay, we're gonna do him. Final answer. Also, forgot, we're Lord Farquaad. Lord Farquaad would definitely stand still places. Explore new locations. Love it. This just increases our connection to him. That's all that these are gonna do. These is how we increase our connections and get more things from people. Also, I think he said Bretons get a bonus just for being a Breton. I can meditate once a day to strengthen my bond with my deity. Let's give it a minute. There are more. Oh my gosh. Okay, so these are basically our, we'll call them boons. Best way to put it. So these are things that are going to benefit our character, but also be a negative. There's going to be pluses and minuses. This is what we call it. So, for example, we're going to go through each one of these. We're going to pick them. We can pick 2 of these. Adrenaline rush. You possess a natural flight response. When at less than 20% health, you move 20% faster and regenerate 1 stamina per second, but also deal 30% less damage when below this threshold. So, when we're close to death, we can retreat fast, but we won't be doing damage. I'm not loving that one. Angler, or fishing. Your bond with the sea grants you unique benefits. Mud crabs and slaughterfish become friendly towards you. Fishing yields more valuable items. Fishing rods. I've never fished in Skyrim. Never have. So I have no idea what to expect. We're not going to do this one. Yields more valuable items. Fishing rods deal double damage. What? Wait, whoa. And have a chance to summon a mud crab to fight at your side. The summoned mud crab becomes stronger if you're carrying an insect or small fish. Fishing rods can be enchanted. However, your affinity with the waters leave you 10% more vulnerable to shock damage. Okay, that sounds like such a funny character to make. Somebody who just fights with a fishing rod. Oh my gosh, I love that. Al natural. Well, that sounds nude. Embrace your divine gifts. Start with plus 100 health, magic, and stamina. For each piece of armor or clothing you wear, lose 40 from each attribute, up to 160. So we're looking at negative 60 by having 4 pieces on. Additionally, you gain plus 1 to health, magic, and stamina per level for each empty armor slot, head, chest, hands, and feet. No. Bad-natured. You're born into wickedness. Your attacks while being crouched deal 20% more, and you're better at pickpocketing. However, attacks while standing up do 20% less, and wearing a divine amulet will hurt you. Oh. Okay. Bane of the Wicked. You are an enemy to all things abhorrent. Deal 20% more damage to undead, Daedra, and werewolves. However, do 10% less damage to other beings. See, I want to do more damage to other beings. I want to do 20%. I want to do more damage to everything. Bulwark. When walking or standing still, you gain 200 armor rating and reflect 10% of physical damage. You drain 1 additional stamina per second while sprinting and 0.25 when running. No. See, you got to, when you're looking at these, you got to see, does that outweigh the negative? I don't know. Defiler. I like that picture. You only use, the only use you have for the living is to resurrect them in death. Deal 20% more damage to playable races. However, do 10% less damage to other beings. That would be great as a necromancer. But no. Disbeliever. You reject the influences of gods, placing your faith in logic and reason instead. Warmer weapons and armor are 33% stronger, but you cannot receive blessings from shrines and divines. I mean, that'd be a playthrough if you don't want to do a deity. Quick go. It'd be better. But also, that's heavy armor, so. Disciplined. Shoot to kill. Bows and crossbows deal 20% more damage. However, they draw and reload 20% slower. I'm going to select that one because so far, not the worst one. They just draw slower. Well, I'm not going to be shooting people. I'm going to shoot people at the beginning and then sort them. Dova tin whatever. Tinvok. You are fluent in dragon speech and, as such, can shout 10% more often at 20% reduced effectiveness. Druid. Druids are attuned to nature, making Spriggans friendly and reducing the cost of Daedric spells by up to 30%. You can craft Life Bloom essence from taproot and Spriggan sap for powerful regeneration. However, your bond with the wild leaves you 25% more vulnerable to fire and axes. Elemental Conduit. Fire spells are more powerful in sunny weather, but lose potency in the rain. Shock spells are enhanced during the rain, but less effective in snow. Frost excel in snow weather, but weaken in sunny. I really like that one actually. I really like that. I like that a lot. Fast shot. You'd rather shoot fast than shoot hard. Bows draw 40% faster, so we're at 0. Crossbows reload 40% faster. However, bows and crossbows deal 30% less damage. Does that just counteract each other? Oh no, I'm looking at 10% less damage. I'm going to turn that one off because I don't want to forget. Focused. When in danger, you think before acting. When at less than 20% health, you regenerate 5 magic per second and absorb 10% of incoming spells. However, you take 10% more damage when below this threshold. I don't want to take more damage. Gambler. You go in all or nothing. Gain 50% chance of critical hit. However, overall weapon damage is reduced by 40. When you land a critical hit, your attacks do 10% more damage for 30 seconds, stackable up to 5 times. It is a gamble. But you have a 50% chance. So 1 out of 2 is going to be a critical hit. When you do get a critical hit, I'm going to do 10% more damage for 30 seconds. I don't know if that means it's now going to be reduced by 30 or if that's now going to be increased by 50, giving me 10%. Giantkin. Descended from the mighty giants, you gain 10% magic resistance and damage with blunt weapons. However, you cannot read skill books or use scrolls or staves. Glutton. You love food, but hate medicine. Food benefits are 25% stronger, but potions have only 50% of their efficiency. Lurker. When not wearing any clothes, sneak attacks deal 2.5 times more damage and can sneak 25% better. You are 100% immune to disease. Eating fish when it's raw and wriggling triggers a powerful healing effect, but that lasts 10 minutes. However, armor provides no protection. Cooked foods offer no benefits, and weapons with a weight above 10 will deal no damage. Wow. Good-natured. You have a good heart. Deal 20% less damage with weapons and destruction spells. However, while wearing an amulet of the divine beneficial spells, when wearing an amulet of the divines, beneficial spells and potions last 20% longer and you take 20% less damage. Hoarder. You love carrying stuff around, even if it's junk. Gain plus 200 carry weight. Selling prices are 50% worse. I don't know how much money we find in the game to know if that's a good thing or bad thing. 50% worse isn't great, but 200 carrying weight is great because I am a hoarder. Homeowner. You've secured a place to call your own, choosing one of Skyrim's fine homes to settle in. However, comfort comes at a cost. Each week, you must make a mortgage payment based on the home's value. Oh, I loved that up until the end. Introvert. You thrive in solitude, but falter in the crowd. When facing 3 or fewer enemies, you deal 15% more damage, whether with weapons or destruction magic. Against 4 or more, your nerves get the better of you and you deal 10% less. Oh. Okay, I have played chapter 3 of Lorerim, and there's a lot of enemies, so I don't think that's going to be a good idea. Jack of all spells. Well, not this one. We're not doing magic. Jack of all spells, but master of none. Novice, apprentice, and adept spells are 20% stronger or longer lasting. Expert and master spells are 20% weaker or shorter. Actually, that wouldn't be bad because, like I said, we're not going to be focusing on magic, but that doesn't mean we're not going to have novice spells or apprentice spells or adept spells. Like, that's what healing magic is going to be, those low ones. Fire, just the fire blast is novice. Like, that could be really good, especially if we're like in a tight spot. I'm going to select that one because I do like it. I like that one a lot. King of Worms. You gain hidden insight into necromantic arts. You can have one additional summon or undead thrall. However, the duration of summon and resurrecting spells is reduced by 33%. Lightfoot. You've never felt comfortable in footwear. When not wearing boots or shoes, your movement is muffled. You move 5% faster and suffer no fall damage. When wearing boots or shoes, you move 10% slower. No thanks. Marathon runner. You regenerate 5 stamina per second while sprinting. However, you will not be able to gain any stamina while running or standing still. Honestly, I think that sounds really good, but since we are going basically a stamina build, we can't risk it. Master of Destiny. You reject the influence of fate and star signs. Standing stones cannot be used, but you begin the game with 3 additional perk points and a permanent +5 boost to all skills. Standing stones cannot be used, but you begin the game with 3 additional perk points. So that means whatever we pick for the warrior, we won't get. I don't remember what the warrior was. I think it's worth it, but I'm not risking it. Because a 5+5 boost and 3 additional perk points is great. But if warrior gave us anything, like, I want to say it gave us 10% more damage across the board. Like, that's great. I don't know if I want to lose that. Nosferatu. You're an ugly sight and live in the sewers. -50 speech. Damn. No health, magic, or stamina regeneration. Regen outdoors. Eating skeever meat gives you a 20% speed boost and restores 10 health, magic, and stamina per second for 180 seconds. Huh. That sounds really fun. Because all I do is eat skeever meat, and I'll be faster, and I basically am going to regenerate 1,800 health, magic, and stamina within under 3 minutes. That could be really good. I just the -50 speech worries me, but I kind of like that challenge. But we're playing Lord Farquaad. Does Lord Farquaad have negative speech? I mean, yes, but he's a king. He's a lord, whatever he is. Old-fashioned. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Weapons, armor, and magic staves made of iron, wood, steel, fur, or hide are 50% stronger. Otherwise, they are 10% weaker. Of iron, wood, steel, fur, or hide. I mean, eventually I do want to have, like, dragon scale stuff, so I'm going to have to say no. But 10% weaker. So if it does 100 protection, it'll only do 90. But if it does 100 and it's steel, or it's wood, or iron, steel, fur, or hide, it's going to do 115? Yeah, 115 versus the 100. Could be worth it. Pacifist. When your arms are lowered, you restore 2 magic and stamina per second. However, raising your hands in combat will have the opposite effect. Those born under the sign of the Atriarch do not gain any benefits. Now, Rage. You possess a natural fight response. When at less than 20% health, you deal 20% more damage and take 20% less damage. However, you move 30% slower than below this threshold. I kind of like that. That's kind of I do like that a lot. I do more damage, and I'm slower. I'm 30% slower. But if I'm doing more damage and I'm taking less damage, it could be nice. We'll come back to Rage. Skilled. Reading skill books grant an extra skill point, and trainers cost 50% less. Love it. However, every 5 levels, you don't gain a perk point. I don't gain a perk point. Okay. Perk points are so valuable. But I can get a perk point the next level. If I got 2, I want something that gives me multiple perk points. That's what I want. Soul Reaver. You claim countless souls for your gain. Weapon and armor enchantments are 10% stronger and use 10% less charge. Armor ratings of weapons damage is reduced by 10%. Swimmer. You burn life in the water. In water, you swim 30% faster and can breathe underwater and regenerate health, stamina, and magic by a flat 1 per second. On land, you suffer 25% less health, stamina, and regeneration. Ooh. Unbound Hands. Handwork constricts you. Spells are 15% stronger, and unarmed strikes do plus 30 more damage when not wearing gloves or gauntlets. However, they suffer the opposite. That would be great for like an unarmed, obviously, like a Khajiit or an Argonian, because I think they do a base like extra damage with their claws and stuff. So if I did like a rogue build, I would probably do this one, or maybe a monk. Ooh, a monk would be good. Weight of the Voice. You follow the pacifist creed of Greybeards, and as such, your hostile shouts are 30% less effective, but using non-hostile shouts are 20% chance to reset the shout cooldown. Witcher. Potions and poisons are crafted are 20% more effective, and consuming raw ingredients grants double the effect. However, you can only benefit from up to 4 active potion effects at a time. The doubling scares me because I immediately thought of eating like a poison. Addict. You have bad habits. Skooma and alcohol benefits last 2% as long, and you can craft skooma at crafting pot. When not under the effects of alcohol and skooma, you have a 25% chance of getting staggered when hit. Heir to the Relic. You begin your journey with a treasured artifact passed down through your bloodline, but such gifts are never free. The legacy carries a hidden debt. Until it is repaid, you are bound to the land, unable to fast travel. Ooh. Wait. I really like that. I like the secretness. The negative is just not fast traveling. That's fine. I don't fast travel too often, but I would probably use it, but now I can't use it until I've paid off my debt. I like that one a lot. You deal 15% more damage with spears, javelins, pikes, halberds. However, you take 50% more damage when hit from behind. Also gives you a unique pike. Ooh. Wizard's Wardrobe. Your wands, there's magic wands, are 30% more effective when wearing a wizard hat. But not wearing a wizard hat, all spells are 10% less powerful and last 10% less. Touch of the Arcane. Your touch and cloak spells are 20% stronger. All other spells are weaker and last less. Well, Silent Dova. You choose not to speak the Thu'um, instead hoarding the souls of slain dragons to fuel your own power. For each unspent dragon soul, you gain plus 5 health, magic, and stamina. However, this draconic strength rejects the curse of beast or blood. Werewolves and vampires cannot harness its power. You, your persuasion and intimidation attempts are 30% less likely to succeed. Serene presence. Your calming aura makes you effortlessly persuasive. Persuasion checks almost always succeed, and pacifying spells are 20% stronger. However, your intimidation attempts are half as likely to succeed, and your frenzy spells are 20% weaker. Dominating will. Your presence commands fear. Intimidation checks almost always succeed. Oh, it's the opposite. And frenzy spells are 20% stronger. However, your persuasive charm is lacking, making persuasion checks harder, and your pacifying spells are weaker. I do like Serene more, but no. Fatal attraction. Your presence is a dangerous as is alluring. You choose one gender, you deal 20% more physical damage to the selected gender, but in turn, take 20% from the other. Blighted fists. Your afflictions fuel your fury. Your unarmed attacks deal 10 plus 10 unresistible disease damage per disease. Wait, does that mean I have to have these diseases? I can't have diseases with... Oh no, I didn't choose them. I still don't want diseases. Acoustic arcanist. Your magic flows through your melody and vibrations. After playing an instrument at an inn, your sonic spells become 20% more powerful. However, your booming presence makes hiring followers more expensive, and your reliance on sound magic weakens your physical attacks by 15%. Unshakable. You turn defense into offense. Your shield bashes deal 20% more damage and cost 20% less stamina. However, your unwavering focus on your shield makes you slower while blocking. I don't know. Focus precision. Your reliance on careful aims comes at a cost. Arrows and bolts deal 10% less damage, but have a 20% chance to push targets away. The strength of this pushback scales with your marksman skill. Soul embed. At will, you can consume a dragon soul to amplify the magnitude of your shouts by 50% for 1 hour. Blood warrior. You take 50% more physical damage and have 100% weakness to poison. However, you start with plus 100 health and gain 5 health per level. Sun-kissed. We're almost done. You draw strength from the sun's radiant blaze. Sun spells are 15% more powerful in your hands, but such warmth comes at a cost. You take 25% more frost damage, and this weakness deepens to 50% beneath the cold veil of night. Dang. Wandering monk. Oh, here's a monk. Powerful attacks with quarterstaffs will force the enemy to drop their weapons to the ground. However, this only applies if you're not wearing any armor, light or heavy. You also receive a unique battle staff. Okay, well, if I do a monk build, that could be fun. Shihai. Your bound weapons do 15% more damage, but you take 25% more damage from the undead. Balanced casting. Pick a resistance: fire, frost, shock, poison, or magic. Both you and the enemies within 200 feet have this resistance reduced by 25%. Plagued mind. Your undead summons and raised dead last 200% longer. However, your magic is reduced to 0 while a friendly summon is active. Self-taught. For every 3 books read, you gain 1 point of magic. However, you start with 100 less magic. I'd have to read 300 books just to break even. No. We're not doing magic. Pick one school of magic spell. Magic. Spells from that school are 25% stronger and last longer, but cost 10% more. However, the remaining 4 schools are 50% weaker. Focus combat. Pick one-handed, two-handed, or marksman. Deal 10% more damage with this weapon type. However, you deal 25% less damage from the other 2. That wouldn't be bad because I don't plan to do anything but one-handed. Now, I do want to do some bows, but we could just not do bows. Oh, did I put points into archery? It's fine. I don't really care. Man, I wish I had it then. Iron Knees. Oh, it looks like Pierce Brosnan. The that's not his name. The 007 dude. You take 50% less damage from enemy arrows and bolts. Getting hit with an arrow restores 20 stamina. However, you move slower. Huh. Quester. Start with 50 less health, magic, and stamina. Gain 1 for each per 3 quests completed. Up to maximum of 150 at 450 quests completed. Gain 1. Yeah, you'd have. Yeah, you'd have to do 150 quests to break even. The True Apprentice. All spells cost 50% less, but are 40% weaker or last 40% shorter. I'd pick shorter. Big swing. Because it says or. It makes me think I can pick. Power attacks are 25% stronger, but light attacks are weaker. Fencer. Light melee attacks are 25% stronger, but power attacks are weaker. Ooh. Okay. So, I really, honestly, I don't mind. Where was it? Focus Combat. I do like that one. And you know what? I've already said we're not going to do much magic, so I really kind of want to get rid of that one. And I really like Fencer. I just won't be able to do power attacks, but that may not be bad. It's more clicking versus holding. Okay, I'm not going to reread, but we're going to scroll through. No. Okay, no. Bad Nate, no. Bone of the Wicked. Undead to other beings. I never saw the opposite of that. Oh, Rage was one that we were looking at. Fire spells, usually shoot fast and danger. I don't want anything that makes me like do less damage, truthfully. Crow, hit your attacks, do 10% damage. Oh, I did like Gambler. But I like the other two more that we picked. Descendants, love of food. No. I did like this one, the Hoarder. Homeowner, no. I don't want to have a mortgage. Thrive in Solitude, no. I did love that one, but not as much. King of Worms, we're not summoning. We are wearing feet. No. Oh, I did like this one. This one caught my attention. I'm gonna say, oh, I do like it. You reject the influence of fate and others time. No, I just don't want to lose our warrior stuff just in case. Oh, I did like the challenge of this though. I wish I could have a third one. Let's see. No, the Rage. I do like this one because it does make me. It does sound nice. I'll double check now. Countless Souls, no. Prefer the Water, no. Oh no. You know what? If I didn't like it, I think this would have been great. Like space filler. I loved this one though. I wish I could. If I could take a third one. You know what? This would be a fourth one because this would be my last pick overall. Because I really, really, really like this one, but I want the benefits from other stuff for more than like this additional story. But I love this idea. I don't want that's two-handed. We're not doing that one. Wizards, magic, Thooms. No. Interesting. No. That one did catch my eyes too. Focused, no. There's this Sunkissed Wandering Monk. I liked a lot of these. But I really think pick one-handed, two-handed, or marksman. We're going to pick one-handed. Deal 10% more damage with this weapon type. However, you deal 25% less damage from the other two, which is fine because I'm not going to use two-handed. And the marksman I might just use as hunting, or maybe I just won't use it. Iron Knees, no. Quester, no. Light melee attacks are 25% stronger, but power attacks are weaker. Yeah, I like it. Like, we could have done random. Oh, that would be a crazy character to build. I want it to be one-handed. Select which game mode you prefer. I'm gonna call it K. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. Conothric. I'm gonna try it. Conothric is for experienced players looking for an engaging combat and slow power fantasy. Noctide is for those who look for a more relaxes experience. I think it's supposed to be relaxed. Spelling mistake. More relaxed experience. There is no shame and glory in picking either. It all depends on what you're looking for to get out of your gameplay. If you're new to Skyrim or Requiem, we recommend Noctide mode. This can be a customized. I'm going to use Noctide because I truly have only played a little bit of Chapter 3 and struggled. Personally, I'm sorry. I'm not the biggest. I'm not good at those. So if you're looking for someone who's going to crush it, it's not me. You can meditate once a day to serve the body with deity. Okay, that's still there. Okay, got a new menu. Ooh. Something enters my world. Did you see that? What was that? Take this. Oh, his hair moves. Oh, he's beautiful. You know, we're taking all of this. Alternate perspective. I've recently arrived in Helgen and decided to rent a room in the Resting Pilgrim. If I decide to extend my stay, I should talk to the innkeeper. I have a feeling something interesting might happen if I do so. Okay. I know it says nothing. I also thought this had the menu where things would pop up on the side. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it doesn't have that. Okay. The last thing you can do, you can either just walk out this front door or you can speak to Shadveer.
Destiny calls you. Go to it.
And pick how you start. Now, I will say there are some of these, again, I've looked at it briefly, that are the same, and I don't know why or if they do anything different. Like here, we have werewolf here and vampire here. But we also have vampire and werewolf here. I typically am a big fan of just doing the vanilla start to it, but let's go through and look at them, and then maybe I'll pick one just for funsies. Regular inn. You're a regular at an inn somewhere in Skyrim or Solitude. Oh, from overseas, you arrived in Skyrim by ship. A wanted criminal. You are a criminal with a high bounty in multiple holds, taking shelter at a nearby camp. You've been attacked and barely managed to survive. Left for dead. And barely managed to survive. Wounded and taken by diseases, you try to find a way back to civilization. That's fun. I'm a big on like lore and gameplay and like backstory. Like, who am I? Shipwrecked. You've been the victim of a crash at high seas. You regain consciousness. As you regain consciousness, you are in the last survivor, deep underwater. Will you manage to escape? My own home. You own property in one of the major cities. Oh, I could start off with a house in Whiterun? I like that. And I also don't know what the colors mean, because there's different colors. Vampire. You start as a vampire, start as a werewolf? No. I don't want to start as... I do want to eventually be one, but I'm not starting. Forsworn. You are a member of the Forsworn of Rebound Guilds. You're a member of one of the guilds. Dragonborn. You're the Dragonborn of Legend, saving the world from Alduin. Wait. If I don't pick that one, am I not? We'll pretend we are no matter what. Roadside ambush. Now I do see there's small words below these. Alternate perspective ESP. So these are all came from Alternate's perspective, which is what this one's called. Missile additional starts. Ambushed along the road by a small group of bandits, fight for your life. Almost start off fighting, fell in a spike pit. You fall in a bandit spike pit and hurt by all hopes seem lost. Bounty hunter. You're a bounty hunter approaching a bandit camp. Prisoner of the band of Bandit 4. I'm imprisoned by bandits in Old Fort. How can I get out of this? Out of the random sounds really fun. A lot of these are really good. Out in the wilderness, but I'm out in the wilderness, but I'm not sure where I am. How did I end up here? Okay, this is now from additional perspective, new beginning. Addict. I can't believe I've finally found the den. The shaking has gotten worse since I left home, but now my suffering is at an end. I do have a strange feeling about this den, though. Dwarmer ruin. I knew I shouldn't have touched that orb, but my curiosity got the better of me. I pray to the gods that there's a way out of here. Well, jailed. Well, here I am. I can't believe those imbecile guards actually caught me. If I don't want to serve my time in here, I better start looking for a way out. Beggar. I don't even remember how long I've been living here in this god-forsaken place. It's time I got out of here and became an adventurer, or joined the Thieves Guild, or the Forsworn, or something along those lines. Gods know anything would be better than continuing to... I don't think I can scroll. Okay, continuing to rot away at this dump. I have come across... an Angus camp? I've come across a camp of a marksman named Agni. Maybe I should ask her to train me. That's someone special, but alchemist. It's been a while since I left home to become an alchemist, and I can't help but long for something more exciting to do than picking flowers. Maybe it's time I left this grove behind. Is that all of them? Oh no. Mercenary. There's an old Citadel proverb. The riskier the road, the greater the profit. The civil war in Skyrim is bound to be good for business. I'd be a fool if I didn't take this opportunity. After all, I can hardly make less money than back home. Merchant. Wait, what? Exactly the same. So merchant and mercenary have the same words. Pilgrim. Shrine. Depending on your choice, you spawn at the Shrine of Azora, a Sanctum of Boethia, the Shrine of Mundus Dagon, the Elder Gleam Sanctuary, the Statue of Merdella, the Shrine of somebody, Sinner's Beacon, or the Hall of Vigilance with appropriate. Okay. Temple. I have finally arrived at the temple. Now that I have received the blessing of the divines, I should start looking for work in town. I can't go back home after all. Thalmor prisoner. I've actually been imprisoned by these gods damned Thalmor. If I don't want to be tortured until I renounce the faith in Talos, now is the time to get out of here. Those guards don't seem particularly attentive. Vampires. A few days ago, I was struck... Wait, hold on. Is this different? I didn't read this one. This Cardigan... So they do have different details. A few days ago, I was struck down by an intense fear. Luckily, none of the fools that are in my family seem to have recognized my symptoms or what they were. So they entombed me here after my death. Now I'm finally free to leave them behind and start anew. Werewolf. I've been staying with Majin's pack for quite a while, but the others still regard me as a stranger. I've got enough gold to pay for passage to Skyrim, so maybe I should leave and start traveling again. So what it sounds like is these two, this might start you in the companions. This might start you with the Dawn Guard. This looks like it's just going to start you in a random spot. Like you're just going to start randomly as a vampire. And this one almost sounds like it's going to be like vanilla, but as a werewolf. I liked a lot of these. I loved Left 4 Dead. That's one of my favorite start. It's D&D's version of, oh, you've met in a bar, but I still love it. I do want to do the own home, mainly because it's going to save us so much money. And I like that perk we almost got that gave us a house minus the, but I didn't want the mortgage. Now I don't get the mortgage and I still get the home. Only thing is, I believe it's going to start us probably in Whiterun, but we can just run to Helgen or something. I'm curious to know if Helgen gets burned or not. Or I could just pick none and start here. I'm gonna pick home. I hope Helgen's still intact so I can see it. I don't want to start anywhere other than Whiterun because of just difficulty wise. Yes? Oh.
Destiny calls you. Go to it.
Can I change it? You can change. Okay, well, let's... Okay, we got something on our belt there, but they're hanging off so far, but that's fine. Maybe we're just too skinny. Okay, let's see what we're carrying real quick. A sword of sparks, a staff of flames, and unarmed. Okay, let's put our sword on. Hide of minor destruction. We do have some potions, diluted potions. These are not. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, I like that. So our sword does 10% stamina damage on hit. Oh, wow. Those are new. Staff does not have anything. Okay. We got some food. We got some small antlers. I'm not going to eat them just yet because I forget if we picked that person, actually. Before I read this, our gold, a deer skull, tankard, and the things I just kind of took from this room. Okay, well, I am going to... Oh, he's so pretty. Look at his twirls. If you're new here, we love twirling. Whoa. Let's look at that up close. Whoa. I like that. That's cool. How I've been using the... I have been using enchantments by swinging, it looks like. Maybe. Let's do a few more swings. That's no. I have to click. Well, I don't think it has been using it. The two bars are slightly different, but I don't think I've been using it. I think it looks really cool, though. Okay, my stamina is increasing. That's really nice. Oh, you know what? Let's go look. Oh, so we have 6 perks to use. So again, we don't have anything that has perks just yet. I wanted to look at our things. We're warm, so health regenerates faster. We're fed, no benefits. Dragons and brands naturally absorb harmful magic by chance, increasing chance to absorb. Okay, what is this key bindings? Okay, I see you. Please go away. I might need to figure out how to get rid of that. Maybe it'll go away once we leave here. We'll pretend. Fortify destruction. Costs less. Oh, because of what I'm wearing. Resist magic because I'm a Breton. Shorter strides when standing still. Oh. But so right now, stamina. Oh, it's actually going down. So I put the sword away. So that was cool. Yeah, it's at 85 now. So my stamina does go down by moving. But I believe that's because we don't have any perks in light armor. Tenants. Okay, explore locations, find standing stones, harvest. Cool. Trait fencer. Oh, those are called traits. Cross combat, well rested. Okay. Well, before we're going to walk out this door next time. I will see y'all all shortly. I hope you'll have a... Oh, did I get rid of it? Nope. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Make sure you check me out on Twitch if you want to. I'll see y'all later. Bye.